So I'm really happy to be here, and I thank my Kalyana Mitra Dhamma friends, the servants of the Buddha, for this kind invitation. This is something I look forward to. Today's topic is the five hindrances called the Pancha Nivarana. Now, these, you might start thinking about these as the obstacles that come in the way when we want to meditate. When I teach at the Dhamma school, and this is part of the lesson for grade 9 and above, what I tell them is there are a lot of similarities in meditation and the act of studying, sitting down and studying, concentrating. They both have quite a lot of similarities, and you will remember your childhood days of studying. It is not necessarily the most exciting event to look forward to, right? Studying and meditation are two things that if we can put aside for later, which we will, right? And all the five nivara you will find when you are studying as well. So it's a very, I would say, a practically required knowledge and understanding and a skill to develop, as this will be so useful no matter what we do in life. So why are these called Nivarana? The understanding is simpler in the local language. Nivana Avaranaya. Right? So this is what clouds the mind as an obstacle to Nivana, Nirvana. So if you think of nirvana as that state of peacefulness, that even if the whole world is toppling upside down and blaming it on you, that you are at a calm and peaceful state. This is what will get in the way. And meditation traditionally is what we practice to get to that state of peace and calm. And as you practice meditation, you will notice that there are those moments of complete peacefulness. And while we may still be very far from being an enlightened being, you still get to experience those moments of peace during the practice. So if you think of these as mental obstacles that cloud the mind and weaken the concentration, one thing to remember is, and this is very important, these are not sins, these are not moral failings, but these are the natural tendencies of the untrained mind. Now, anyone who is not an enlightened person, you can consider your mind as untrained, right? And we are all on the path to train ourselves to get to a place where that naturally resides in us. The peace, the nirvana that we are looking for is already in here. And that's the good news. It's just that our habitual thinking patterns that's coming through the samsara due to our untrained minds is clouding us and not letting us to access that really peaceful state. So that's the good news, because what we are looking for is already here. It's just that we are wired for something else. This is a matter of changing our wiring. So what are these five things that get in the way? Now, they go as Kamachanda, which is sensual desire, Vyapada, which is ill will, Pinamidda, which is sloth and torpor, Uddhacha Kukucha, which is restlessness and worry, and Vichikicha, which is doubt. Now, if you take Kamachanda first, sensual desire. Kamachanda is made up of two words, Kama and Chanda. And Chanda is what it means is what I like, my desire, right? And when we cast the vote, we call it giving your Chanda, giving your liking. So we are in a sensual plane We are born in a sensual plane and we are sensual beings. Our entire life is about seeking comfort, seeking pleasant, pleasurable experiences, and getting rid of discomfort and unpleasurable experiences. That is the summary of what it means to be human. Now, craving for pleasant experiences through the five sense doors mainly. The sights we like to see, the sounds we like to hear, the smells to the nose, the taste which we love to eat, and the body sensations. So imagine you are trying to do a very simple meditation, just the Anapanasati. And what happens to our mind? Our mind drifts naturally. And one thing we need to be mindful about is that these are not your enemy. These five nivaranas are not your enemy. They are your teachers. Right? What will they teach? They will teach us to recognize them. The more you recognize them, the more they lose their power over us. And that is the beauty of it. And therefore, it will be useful to recognize them not only during the meditation, but also during your daily life. So this is about being able to say, a sensual desire has come my way. And how is this? So what are the thoughts that usually occupy our mind? Usually, isn't it about what is there to eat, what is there to drink, right? Wanting to eat something, wanting to drink something, and especially in between meals, when logically you're not supposed to be hungry, right? Because as a human being, you need to eat, you need to drink, you need to sleep, and those are biological requirements. And let us say that those notifications, let's say that those are required. But if you think about the dozen other notifications that come through the day, reminding you, let us go and see what else is there, raid in the fridge. Those are where a beautiful opportunity to observe the Kamachanda. Kamachanda has arisen. Right. For example, you might be feeling thirsty now, right? And it's likely that you are mildly dehydrated, which is because most adult humans are mildly dehydrated at any given time. Yeah. But this is more than just wanting water. If you're now thinking, I need to have a nice cappuccino, right? Or something like that. You can definitely use that opportunity to think, really? Do I really need it now? Because just being aware of the Kamachanda has risen, loses that power. And so a friend told me once, and this person was really, really good at dealing with these unrequired food desires that come your way. I asked him, how do you do this? He said, any desire, as if you notice, if you time the rising, staying, and falling of a desire, he said, he has timed it, and it's about 21 seconds. So he said the next time a desire comes, he said, you keep some biscuits in front of you, ones you like, and see, not always do you have a desire to eat the biscuit. And since it's there, the more you see it, the desire will come, I need to eat this. And then he said, when the desire comes, if you can just hang in there, just observing that for 20 seconds, he said, you will notice the desire rises and passes away. Now see, these things sound easy, but it is not, because if it is easy, then you don't need dieting programs, right? It's just observing a sensual desire for 21 seconds. That's all that is required. So what I'm trying to say is it's something useful to train yourself. So meditation is all about training yourself, because we are born into this world with default thinking patterns. And our default thinking pattern is when a thought comes, grab it and go with it, execute it. So my default thinking pattern is when I see a biscuit, and a thought will arise, I need a biscuit. And then what my friend said is, just observe it. Oh, a desire has arisen. And observe it and see what will happen as you keep observing. And it is true, when I tried this, it is magically true. The desire goes away, and even though the biscuit is right in front of me, I have no need for it. But then, as a diet, has this been successful? No, because I forget to do that. When the desire arises, my habitual practice is to reach out and take the biscuit and eat it. That is the habitual practice. I forget to do this because it's a new habit. So this is about forming new habits. So when you are meditating, what distracts you? So for me, I have now got to a point where I love meditating. There was a time in my life where I didn't love it, but because I know it is good, I would do it anyway. I equate this to drinking coriander. When I was small and when I had a flu, my mother would give me coriander and I was not interested in it. And my mother would tell me, drink it, it's a medicine, it's good for you. And even if you don't like it, it's okay. You are not supposed to have a pleasurable experience with medicine. Nobody cares, just drink it. But as I grew older, I acquired a taste for it and I started believing in its benefits. So now I enjoy coriander without sugar. And in the morning, instead of the normal tea that many people drink, I opt for a coriander. So this is how you can change your thinking patterns. And something that you didn't like or that was not comfortable, when you understand the benefit and when you get used to it, you can actually start loving it. And meditation has now come to that point where I look forward to it. However, the problem is with the time. So I will sit, I happily sit for my meditation. And in the first 5 minutes, I think, oh, this is wonderful, this is amazing. I can stay like this forever. That is the hyper positive side of me, the hyper optimist in me. And I then think, how come sitting at meditation has been an issue for me? Because there's no issue at all, it's perfect. Then 5-10 minutes later, I'm thinking, oh, this is not fun anymore. This is uncomfortable and the time is moving so slowly. This is boring. I have so much of work to do. Right? So that is a place to remember, to start observing, oh, sensual desires are arising. Now I'm looking for comfort, I'm looking for pleasure. Because initially in the meditation itself, there was pleasure. The pleasure came in the seating posture is a comfortable posture. I do the Ardha Paryanka or the Ardha Padmasana, and I'm now very comfortable with it. So therefore, it's a comfortable posture. And when you close your eyes and just lean into the meditation, you feel so peaceful. So what I realized is I am taking a lot of pleasure in that peace and so on. So there's a lot of sensual desire in it. Now, initially, it's okay because whatever gets you to meditate, it's a good thing. They say crave nirvana initially because that is what gets you on the path. And finally, you have to just let go of that also in order to get there. Right? So the posture becomes an issue and the time duration becomes an issue. And I feel like maybe I should have had some water and so many other things. So this is a good moment to capture that. Then when you think of vyapada or ill will, for me, my personal experience is during meditation, I am mostly angry with myself. Number one is I want to sit for 30 minutes. Sometimes I want to sit for 45 minutes. And sometimes when I'm feeling really, really good, I think I'm going to sit for 1 hour. And then after 10 minutes, when I'm complaining to myself, I find that I'm getting irritated with myself. And this is very common in meditation. It's a very common thing in meditation that you see yourself as enemy number one. So once again, it is about recognizing these deep ingrained thinking patterns, habits. The more you recognize it, the more they weaken their power over you. So what comes under this? Anger, hatred, irritation, resentment towards others, towards oneself, towards situations. In meditation, it's quite possible when you get distracted, you might be replaying arguments, or you are judging yourself very harshly. Or some more common things is you will be irritated by the sounds around you. Now, most often I hear this because on Sunday I do a meditation program over Zoom. And many a times the participants say that people in my family, they know that I'm meditating at this time. But then I get irritated. Somebody put the TV on, somebody put the radio on, or somebody will be talking to somebody and that sound disturbs me. Somebody's talking on the phone. So what I then say is like, look, we forget that we are part of the environment. We are part of nature. We are part of the animal kingdom. We are animals, right? Now, all humans are part of the animal kingdom. So if you think of it, we are sharing this nature with other animals, whether it is birds or humans, and we are all living in our natural habitat. And in the natural habitat, animals do what they do. You can't expect all the other animals to conform to your meditation requirement. It's not fair to start with. And the rest of the people in the house, Sunday is their day too. Now, in the place where I live, there are a couple of, I think about 20 young people boarded. And Sunday is their day to listen to music. These are young people. It's their right as well, as much as it is my right to meditate. Now, there can't be a clash of rights here. It's about understanding that we are all part of a habitat and we all do what we do. And if I just understand it, because one person told me that I can't meditate because there are birds singing near my window where I meditate. I said, do you know how much people pay to listen to birds singing? And you are trying to chase them away, right? So I said, look, those birds are part of your natural habitat. You have to accept them. You have to accept them. They have a right to be there as much as you. And then the more you accept and understand that this is just a part of a sound in my habitat, and let the sound be and let you be. Venerable Ajahn Chah says this beautifully. He says, the sound is not disturbing you. You are disturbing the sound. This is a very profound way of looking at it. What he's saying is it's a natural habitat. The sound is there by nature. If you go and poke your nose and say, I want this to go away, you are the artificial person. You are disturbing that sound. Okay? So in the daily life, how does this span out? If you are driving, of course, there will be a lot of frustrations in traffic. A lot of frustration. No matter how well somebody is driving, that person will annoy you. No matter how well pedestrians are walking, they will annoy you. Right? You will feel some form of road rage. And those are the points to remind yourself, aversion has arisen. Vyapada has arisen. Then if you think of all the grudges we have, as humans, we are petty human beings. And the sooner you understand it and accept it, you will be at peace at yourself. We are wired for pettiness. We hold grudges very easily. And we so often rehearse painful events. We run the dialogue in our mind again and again, feeling disappointed with ourselves for the mistakes we did. These are things that irritate us. So just being observant, irritation has arisen. That is the practice. In meditation, the practice is to just let it be. This meditation is about understanding how to let go. You can't let go deliberately. Letting go starts when you start to accept. When you start to accept and you are at peace. And to also understand the rights of all other beings in this habitat. And the third is Tina Midda or sloth and torpor. Now in sloth and torpor, it's actually quite straightforward. You have to only ask yourself two questions. During meditation, if you are feeling sleepy, is this real? It is real if you are really tired. So you would know if you're tired or not. If you have broken rest, or if you have been physically exerting yourself, it is natural that you will feel sleepy during meditation. In fact, it's inevitable. In fact, I would advise you not to sit for your meditation. You will feel sleepy. If you are tired and have broken rest, sleep deprived, best thing for you to do is, if you're seriously keen to meditate in spite of it, because if you're tired and if you have broken rest, it will do well for you to get some sleep. But if you really want to meditate, then walking meditation is the best. If you're going to sit down and try to meditate, it's going to be a very difficult thing. So when you ask yourself, am I tired? Am I sleep deprived? If the answer is no, then you are really experiencing sloth and torpor, the dullness of the mind that comes when you are getting into meditation, when you're really relaxing, when your body and mind is relaxing. And a very valuable Venerable Pedro told me recently, whenever you feel sleepy during meditation, and when you realize that you are not tired and you are not sleep deprived, rejoice. He said, actually rejoice. Your mind has quietened down. You are in a very relaxed place, and your mind is not used to it. Your mind doesn't understand it, and therefore your mind is bored. But from a meditation perspective, from a progress perspective, you are in a very good place. So get that understanding, and with that understanding comes joy. I'm feeling sleepy because I'm now in a good place in my meditation. My body and mind are both fully relaxed. And since my mind is still not used to this, it is misunderstanding this as a dullness or a laziness, but actually this is a very good place in my meditation. And that knowledge itself will energize. The Buddha, who is one of the most amazingly wise human beings, the more you think about it, you wonder, how can one human being be so wise? Has covered all aspects of everything that can possibly go right and wrong in your meditation and in your life. And he has covered all the things you need to do when you're feeling sleepy. And I think that should be a separate session in itself with a speaker who is versed in it. There are many, many things he has advised to do if you're feeling sleepy. So what can help is, especially if you are keen about a 1 hour meditation and you know that you can and you want to and you are just feeling a bit sleepy, sometimes it is said that it might be even just good to stop the meditation, sip a bit of water, stretch a bit, and then sit down again. Or just from your sitting meditation, just gently move into a bit of a walking meditation and come back and sit again. Okay. So the fourth is restlessness and worry, which is Uddacha Kukucha. Uddacha is restlessness, and this is the mental agitation. Now, this is my favorite. This is about your things to do list. We all have a things to do list, right? Even though you may not have written it, there's things you're going to do after. And when you're meditating and when you're really relaxed, that is when your Your full things to do list starts coming in front of you. Oh, after this meditation, I need to do this and I need to do that. Right? So then you need to understand that this is restlessness of the mind. And gently tell yourself, yes, but that is after, but now it is here, and here I am doing nothing. The beautiful stillness of doing nothing, right? This is also called, sometimes you would have experienced this. I experienced this a lot. I have what you call a racing mind. And especially if I'm very interested in a project or if I'm very engrossed in an activity, and if I have to stop that activity because I need to sleep in the night, I find that my mind keeps racing. Ideas are coming, what more I can do. And sometimes I notice that I can't even sleep for an hour or two. The mind is just racing and so much of energy in the mind. So this, you need to recognize this is a restlessness. This is a restlessness. And you need to do a few tactics to try and calm your mind and allow it to sleep. The worry part, Kukucha, is about worrying and regret. It's mainly about regrets. So we humans, we have lots of regrets and guilt. You know, we are always on a guilt trip, one guilt trip or another, right? So it is about thinking about things, oh, I shouldn't have done that, or I shouldn't have said this. And this is why the Buddha said humans waste so much of their life by spending it in the past, by regretting their past words and deeds, or they're wasting their time by being in the future, by being anxious about what is to come. They hardly spend time in the present moment. And it is in the present moment where you find peace. So our untrained mind actually enjoys this, enjoys going to the past and enjoys going to the future. You might say, how can I enjoy worry? Oh, trust me, we enjoy worry. We enjoy regretting. These are so habitual. We have got to a place where we actually enjoy the suffering. So we have a lot of work to do. And it starts with small steps, small actions, small repeatable actions. And that is why the Buddha said this Satara Satipatthana is something you do daily, you do all the time. Something you do while you eat, while you sleep, during your daily activities. Of course, when you sit for your formal meditation, that is when you can really practice it. And in your daily life, that is when you get to try out what you have practiced. So constant multitasking, feeling unable to just be, overthinking, right? Having that racing mind, rehearsing conversations. How many of you enjoy that? Sometimes when you are really agitated with somebody, you start thinking, okay, so I'm going to go to this person, I'm going to walk to this person tomorrow, and I'm going to say this, then I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this. And your mind is going on rehearsing a conversation, right? Lastly, vichikicha or doubt. Now, when it comes to meditation, there can be lots of doubts. Which technique should I practice? I remember, so Anapanasati is the most popular technique usually introduced to anybody who is interested in meditation. And I was introduced to Anapanasati first and later on to Metta meditation. Now, I had a natural affiliation towards Metta meditation, but the popular culture was Anapanasati. So I used to find myself in conflict. I enjoy Metta meditation, but I think Anapanasati meditation is the right thing to do. So which one should I do? And when I'm doing Anapanasati meditation, I would get some doubts as to this is not really what syncs with me. I think I should be doing something else. And when I do something else, I'm thinking, no, but every famous meditation teacher always talks about start with Anapanasati, and it's a lot of doubts. So later on in my meditation journey, I came across many, many other techniques. And now my present most favorite is to sit and do nothing. It's my most absolutely favorite technique. And this is something Venerable Ajahn Chah highly recommends. And he does this because he says, you need to understand yourself. And the best way to understand yourself is to just observe. And as you sit and just observe what is going on, you start to realize what is going on. And when you start to realize what is going on, what you need to do next will become evident to you. And when I saw this instruction first, I was like, that sounded so Greek. Is that even an instruction? That didn't make any sense at all. However, there was something very unique and very attractive about that instruction. And I have been for the last, I think, about 10 years trying this on and off, and I find it very, very useful. And this has also helped me to understand that there are many techniques, and each one of us should try very different techniques and see, because it's ultimately about, do you understand that you don't exist? Whatever that helps you to get there, whatever that helps you to get, do you understand that you don't exist? Do you understand that thinking, believing you exist is the 100% issue of everything you're facing in life? All the problems you face is coming from where? It's stemming from. And that is what moha means. And as long as you believe and feel and think that you exist, there will be greed and there will be aversion, lobha and dvesha. So lobha, dvesha, moha, right? Or the trilakshana, which is the anitya, dukkha, anatta. Everything is impermanent, is changing all the time. Anything that is changing all the time cannot give you a permanent happiness. And anything that is changing all the time and cannot give you happiness, can it be yours? You have no control of it. Is there anything that you can say it is yours? Non-self. So my advice to you is experiment with various techniques. Some people tell me, I love Buddha Anusati meditation, and I'm like, fantastic, go for it. Some tell me, I am a big fan of Anapanasati. I'm like, please, do what works for you. Some others say, I like Chittanupassana. Some others say, I like the Goenkaji technique, the Vedananupassana. And I tell them, whatever that helps you to understand, or whatever that you believe will help you to understand that you do not exist and that you have created this unhappiness for yourself. And the peace that you seek is already inside you. You're born with the capacity and the potential to experience a peace that is naturally inside you. You're also born with habitual thinking coming from your samsara that is preventing you from accessing it. And you have now a fantastic opportunity. You are in a time where the Buddha's teaching, this very valuable Dhamma, is still available in the world. You are in a time where your brain is working, your body is working. Everything that you need to understand this is there for you, given on a platter. And what you need, my friend, now is to do some reflection, some quiet, uninterrupted reflection, and build a daily practice. Sometimes people ask me, do you need formal meditation? And I say, yes, you do. When I asked my first meditation master, Venerable Homagama Kondanya Thero, I want to be a serious meditator. How would I know whether I'm a serious meditator? I was 15 years old when I met him. And that is when I asked him because I couldn't meditate for more than 5 minutes. It was so boring, but I knew this is good and I wanted to pursue it. He said, if you can meditate 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour in the evening, you are a serious meditator. He said, that is what you need to strive for. And then I would tell him, Swami Mahansa, I can only meditate 5 minutes. He said, 5 minutes is better than zero. So he said, well done. 5 minutes is better than zero. He said, well done. Now that you can meditate 5 minutes, see if you can make it 10 minutes. And gradually build your practice where 20 minutes is comfortable. Then a couple of years later, I asked him, Venerable Sir, what is a good time to go for a meditation retreat? And he would tell me, if you can comfortably sit for 1 hour in meditation, then you are ready to go for a retreat. If you cannot sit 1 hour comfortably for a meditation, you can still go on a retreat, but it will be very uncomfortable. But please, by all means, if you want to go on a retreat, please do. But he said, you will benefit more if you can build a practice of being able to meditate for 1 hour. So these are some things I want to tell you because knowing the hindrances will be useful in building that practice. And what we all need to do is we all need to build a daily practice. And I have experimented with the time of the day, and since I'm a full-time working person, what I have realized is that time at 4:30, it is such a magical time. It is such a magical time. Of all the times I have meditated, I have tried meditating in the morning, noon, night, various times, and nothing beats 4:30 in the morning, which is something I find very difficult to do because I'm habitually a night person. So I have a tendency to stay late and then by no means can I wake up. But on those occasions where I push myself to sleep early and I naturally wake up around 4:15, I have noticed that that time is an amazing time. Your mind is so clear. So again, each person may experience is different. Now, a few things I want you to keep in mind. A few points. The first point is these hindrances are not your enemy. They are your teacher. Seeing them, do not think when you see them during your meditation that it's a failure. Seeing them during your meditation is success. Seeing them during the day is success. They are going to teach you. They are going to teach you to look for them, to recognize them. The more you see them, the weaker they get. Being mindful is the only solution. And this is what the Buddha said again and again. Be mindful. And then when you see, desire has arisen. Oh, here is restlessness. Ajahn Brahm Swami Mahansa says, here is restlessness, my old friend. Here is desire, my old friend. Here is anxiety, my good friend. They are not your enemies. They are your teachers. And practice this in your daily life, at work. Recognize irritation. In relationships, recognize irritation. In your habits, recognize procrastination and anxiety. Now, the Buddha being the most amazing teacher, he gave us some beautiful similes, the water simile. The more you think about how the Buddha taught people, we really are amazed. How is it possible for one human to be so amazing, honestly? This is the example of the water simile. So he said, think of a ball of water or a little pond of water where there are some nice pebbles and clear water and so on. Imagine you are looking into this little pond of water and you want to see what lies at the bottom. Now you know that in order to see what lies at the bottom, the water should be clear and the water should be still. If the water is still and clear, you can see what lies at the bottom. Imagine what lies at the bottom is sand and pebbles. It's very clear. Now, Kamachanda, he referred to as water mixed with a color dye. Think of red, yellow, and blue colors have got into that little pond, and the water is now mixed with colors. What would that look like? The colored water distorts and prevents you from seeing what really lies beneath. Similarly, when sensual desires cloud our mind, we don't see clearly. Right? So, Vyapada or aversion, he referred to as a ball of boiling water. Imagine somebody has lit a fire under that pond and the water is boiling. In boiling water, everything is in constant motion. You can't see the bottom because the surface is agitated and churning. Similarly, when anger, irritation enters your heart is agitated. Your thoughts are churning, clouds your judgment. And the Buddha described anger as temporary insanity. Irritation is a milder version of anger. Nevertheless, it's all the form of insanity. And here I need to tell you, I was a big fan of metta meditation, and for about 10 years, I would do metta meditation whenever I can, and even for 2-3 minutes. And I realized that the more I meditate with metta meditation, I became a kinder person, more compassion, more kindness, more gentle. But there was something else also that happened which surprised me. I realized that I'm getting more angry. And I was thinking this is a bit of a dichotomy. How can you be practicing metta meditation and realizing you are getting more angry? It took me years to unravel this mystery. And finally I found out it's not that I was getting more angry. The more I meditated, I started seeing the subtle layers of anger in my own mind. Throughout my adult life, I thought myself as a very calm, mild, gentle person. And now I see that that was never true. There was anger, irritation, deep down in very subtle layers and layers and layers of anger and irritation. I never saw it. Never saw it. But now, as I build my meditation practice, I can see the deep layers and layers of anger and irritation. And I misunderstood that as the more I meditate, the more angry I'm getting. No, actually not. The more I meditate, I started seeing my true nature. And my true nature was terrible. And finally, when I accepted it, initially I was ashamed of what I saw. When I accepted it and when I said, okay, this is why there are terrorists in the world. This is why there are people who do bad things in the world. It's all there. We are born with it. It's there, layers and layers. For our good fortune, we have not come across situations where those have come to the surface. And those I call therapy, good fortunes. Good fortunes that didn't set up circumstances that got those onto the surface. And more I reflected, I realized that possibly, if I went through things that terrorists have gone through, I don't know what they have gone through. possible that I may have ended up that way too. And it helped me to not judge people. It helped me to see that maybe all humans are alike. We all are quite similar. We haven't really seen our true nature. The more I saw my true nature, initially I was ashamed, but the more I accepted it, I found a deep, deep peace. Accepting myself, forgiving myself for who I am. I found a peace. And what more it did was, I found that the more I accepted myself, I could just so easily accept others. Forgiving others was the most easiest thing to do. So if you want to live a life of forgiveness, you have to really see who you are. Go through those layers of guilt and shame and regret. See who you really are. And when you accept yourself and forgive yourself and just let yourself be, you become so peaceful. And you never want to judge another person because you know that they have not gone this journey. They have not gone this journey. You are going this journey because you have what they probably don't have. Upeta kata punyata in the Mangala Sutra. Teraping atiba. Upeta kata punyata. The fact that you want to meditate, the fact that you want to listen to a Dhamma talk, the fact that you want to spend a beautiful Saturday afternoon listening to a Dhamma talk, this is evidence of your past merits. Be joyful. Take courage. Be disciplined. So Slotan Topper, he referred to as water covered with moss, algae, and slime. When water is stagnant, overgrown, light doesn't penetrate it, surface is dull and lightless. So with sloth and torpor, your mind becomes dull and heavy and unresponsive. So if you feel that you have the time and the capacity and the energy to meditate, and you want to meditate and you sit down to meditate, and 5 minutes later you're feeling lazy, you need to do something about it. Do not give in to it. Do not give in to it. Restlessness and worry, Uddachakukucha. Here he said, think of the wind causing ripples. This is different to the boiling water. Boiling water is anger, churning, agitated water. This is about wind causing ripples. When there is ripples there are waves in the water, you still can't see clearly. The water has to be completely still for you to see clearly. And doubt, he said, it's like, think of a clear pond with sand and stones, pebbles at the bottom. The water is still and clear, and somebody takes a stick and turns a bit of mud underneath, and the mud rises up. That is what doubt is all about. A ball of muddy, dark water placed in a dark room. Not enough light, not enough clarity to see anything at all. Lot of confusion, indecisiveness. You just need to wait for the mind to calm down, the mud to settle down, and then the water becomes still and clear. Okay, so this is the beautiful simile of how the Panchanivarana were explained, the 5 hindrances were explained through the water simile. So now it's 5:35, and I would like to do a 15-minute guided meditation on practicing this, and followed by a 15-minute still meditation where you just spend 15 minutes in stillness. And you can continue to practice this, or you can continue to do whatever the technique you like to do, or you can do what Venerable Ajahn Chah says. Just do nothing and just observe what's going on. All right, so we are going to move into 30 minutes of meditation. What I will do is during the instruction, I'll keep the recording, and after each instruction, I'll give you a minute or two to practice it, and then I'll pause the recording. So, especially those of you in the Zoom, you will hear that the recording got paused or the recording came up again. So, just letting you know about that. All right. So, may I suggest that you just stand up a bit and sit down again, just so that because you have been sitting now for nearly an hour, and it will be good to just sip a bit of water if you have it and settle down now for a nice meditation of 30 minutes, 15 minutes guided and 15 minutes silent. All right. Now sit comfortably and gently close your eyes. Let us begin by gently arriving into this moment. Allow your body to settle. Feel the weight of your body rounding into the cushion or chair you are in. Notice the contact points of your body. Feet on the floor, hands are resting, spine is gentle but straight, head is gentle and straight. Make sure you are not bowing your head down. Now gently bring your attention to the breath. Your body is naturally breathing. We are not forcing anything. We are not doing anything artificial. We are just going to observe the natural rhythm of your body breathing. You can observe this rhythm near the nostrils, where the breath is gently going in and going out. You can observe this rhythm near the chest area, where your chest is gently rising and falling. You can observe this in your stomach area, where your stomach is gently inflating and deflating. Let the breath be your anchor. Each inhale, each exhale, like the waves returning to the shore, steady, gentle. If the mind wanders, that's okay. Just notice, gently come back to the breath. Now we will begin to gently observe the mind. No need to force anything, just notice what is arising. Are there any thoughts, emotions, or sensations right now? Just acknowledge them. Ask yourself, is any of the 5 hindrances present in my mind right now? Not to judge, not to suppress, only to be aware, only to understand. Let us now observe these hindrances one by one. We call this the technique of naming and noting. Let us first observe if kamachanda or sensual desires have arisen. Ask yourself, is the mind pulled towards something pleasant? A sound, a memory, an image, a craving? If so, just note it gently. Ah, wanting is here. And then come back to the breath. If there's no sensual desire to note, no problem. It will come later. You can return to the breath. Let us now observe aversion or vyapada. Is there some discomfort you are feeling right now? Look closely and see whether there is even a very minor irritation, minor aversion towards that discomfort. It could be at a very subtle level. Are you experiencing any frustration? Some resistance to sitting still? Are you having any resentment, irritation, or judgment towards yourself or towards others? If so, gently say to yourself, ah, aversion is here. Then return with kindness to the breath. If having observed, you cannot find not any aversion, then return to the breath. And when aversion arises, just note. Let us now move towards sloth and torpor, Tina method. It is very natural as your body relaxes and the mind relaxes to feel sleepy. And especially if you have had a long day, a tiring day, if you have broken rest last night, you will naturally feel sleepy. So let us observe, is there dullness right now? Is there sleepiness? Is there a heaviness in the body or a fogginess in the mind? If so, you cannot, sluggishness is here. Can I brighten up the mind just a bit? Perhaps sit a little bit more alertly, straighten your spine a bit. Maybe in that sluggishness, you have slouched a bit as well. Maybe you want to just straighten a bit. As the body slouches, you are more likely to fall asleep. Keeping your back straight, the spine straight, not rigid, but gentle and straight helps you to be alert. Now observe if sluggishness is here. If not, the breath is your anchor. And go back to the breath. Let us now observe Uddacha Kukucha, restlessness and worry. Is the mind agitated? Is the mind jumping from one thought to another thought? Is it replaying past dialogues? Are you regretting anything that happened in the past? Are you feeling anxious about future plans? Are you thinking of what to do next? Especially if there are some events planned today, tomorrow, or some things you need to do today and tomorrow. Gently name it. Restlessness is here. And return to the breath with patience. And lastly, let us observe doubt or Vichikicha. Is there a voice asking, is this working? Am I doing this right? Or some sense of uncertainty or some hesitation? Just notice, doubt is here. And gently return with trust, with confidence to the breath. And now, let us go for our still meditation and perhaps 10 minutes of stillness. And we can go on to the Q&A afterwards. So just let go of observing. Let go of noting. Just be. Let the breath come and go. Allow the mind to be calm, still, like a still pond of water, and simply rest in this awareness. And as you just rest in this stillness and awareness, whenever any of these five hindrances arise, you don't need to fight them. You don't need to fix them. Just observe, just note. This is part of being human, and go back to the breath. And I shall pause the recording here. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now you can gently open your eyes. So in conclusion, I'd like you to reflect on the following questions. Which of the five hindrances did you notice mostly during the meditation? And when you reflect of your daily life, which of the five hindrances do you think you can notice the most in your daily life? And let us then open for any questions, comments,